What's up, man? Your mic is off. I can't hear you.
Yeah, there we
There you
go.
go.
You hear it now? Yeah, my
Yeah,
bad, my bad.
yeah. I was like,
Yeah,
man,
so
I gotta listen to the playback for the intro. I was like, man, I missed my
that's
intro.
all good.
Yeah, it's all
No,
good, man.
no, it's all good. I think I may have missed mine too. Just working some studio bugs out here, but it's all good, man. Like I was saying, letting the audience know, where hip hop is today is not where hip hop came from. In my eyes,
Hmm.
music has gotten like watered down. It's turned real like nasty and evil. As far as for like where hip hop came from, and
Hmm.
you being one of like how I pretty much introduce you as like a
Hmm.
conscious rapper. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that's saying something and not
Hmm.
just going along with the mainstream and not saying nothing at all. But
Yeah.
like I said, just wanted to give that little introduction. How do you feel about hip hop and where it is today?
Like you said, it's come a long way from where it started as far as like the essence, and even the elements. You know what I'm saying? Being put in the forefront, and I say the forefront because it's hip hop is very much alive, you know what I'm saying, and there's a lot going on. It's just not on the forefront mainstream stage anymore, you know what I mean. um I see it. There's a lot of, from b-boying, breakdancing, DJing, all these things are going on. It's just underground now, you know what I mean? And I'm cool with that. And I think a lot of people, that's one thing I accepted years ago, you know what I'm saying, that it did get to a point to where, yeah, if you're talking about something, you basically gotta embrace the fact that you're underground, you know what I mean? Some underground stuff, which makes sense because anytime you're talking about anything that is not with the politically correct, or going along with the flow of the information they're feeding, you're gonna kind of like isolate yourself, you know what I'm saying, and become more of an underground thing to where the people that really knows what's up, they're gonna be checking for you. You know what I mean? So that's what I've seen happen with hip hop as far as like, the mainstream stage is the entertainment aspect, the corporate aspect, um, all that completely has taken over. You know what I'm saying? So, we don't see that, and it's not pushed. And if you come out saying anything as far as like consciousness, especially black consciousness or anything like that, you're gonna go against the grain of the industry, because the industry and the corporate mindset, which the corporate mindset is, people that are not from our culture, they're just here to make money off the culture and exploit it. So, if it's, of course, you come talking about some stuff that's going to mess up their money, they're not going to push you. You know what I mean? So that's what's getting pushed. And, you know, uh, there are many aspects to, black culture where it be, negative and positive, but it's definitely plain to see where, the agenda of what's getting pushed, greenlit, to where that's what's shaping the culture now. That's what's shaping, because hip hop shapes, the world at this point. So, you know, that's how we're being portrayed in the
Yeah,
mainstream life. Yeah.
got you, got you. Yeah, man, that's a good breakdown of it too, because
Yeah.
you know, ever since me and you did spread love,
Yeah.
that was kind of like one of my crowning moments. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah, that
you
was dope.
obviously went real far, but that helped me out a lot in my music career and endeavor and things like
Hmm.
that. And some of the people that listen to prophetic music and have been
Hmm.
listening to my music for a long time, everybody loves spread love.
Hmm.
So I had to get you on, you know what I'm saying, and start to tell this story because again, we're not just like we're putting out like real music, like how
Yeah.
we grew up doing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Speaking from the heart, speaking from the mind, and things
Hmm.
like that. Um, and again, I just wanted to let everybody know who's listening. Spread Love is still available, of course, on iTunes,
Yeah.
Spotify, all of that. And also make sure you go to it's jocscholar.com. Can you give the viewers like some of your websites and where to find you and track
Yeah, pretty much the portal into everything is jocscholar.com, JOC SCHOLAR, Joc Scholar. And that'll take you into different links and it bridges you into my group Grand Opus also, which is a big part of what I've been doing also. So yeah, jocscholar.com, or you can go to grandopusca.com. That's GRANDOPUSCA.com. And that'll just open you up to everything from the social media and all that. So yeah, websites are still alive. Artist websites are still alive. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. There it is. I'm gonna play a little clip from this if you don't mind.
No doubt. That's the one. The MC from Grand Opus. Peace to my dude Centric. Yes, sir.
Man, I'm loving it. I'm loving it,
Yeah,
man.
we yeah. Shout out to shot that out in Berkeley. You know what I'm saying? That was dope.
Yeah, up in Northern California.
Yeah, you see a dualism of me battling me.
Yeah,
That was
yeah, yeah. Yeah, definitely keep that out, y'all, man. It's deep content, man.
yeah.
I mean, how did you get? So, okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually start from the beginning too. Just simply from the beginning. What got
Mhm.
you into rapping? What kind of influenced you to start doing music when you were
Well, first off, shout out to my dude Prophetic, because we go back, we go back to the Genesis. You know what I'm saying? So we've known each other from what I'm saying, from Pampers, man. So it's good to see you grow, and you know what I'm saying, everything that you've grown into do. But as far as for me and hip hop and just writing, I believe I started writing. I think I wrote my first rap in like fifth, sixth grade, and I was influenced by in that time, heavily by like the Rockhams and the Big Daddy Kanes and lyricists like that. I was always drawn to just the lyrical aspect and the real aspect. Not I really wasn't into the rappers out that time that was just like talking about a bunch of nothing. You know what I'm saying? Of course, coming from the West Coast, I'm automatically influenced by all the West Coast pioneers, so the Cubes and everybody that was coming up around there. So that was my inception. But as I grew, I started recording at 12, actually, age 12. And it was with my cousin who ended up producing with a lot of the songs that even to this day that I've worked on with. So that's when the bug started, really the recording started hit. What I'm saying, 12 years old, recorded my first song, started learning how to produce, record and stuff like that at an early age. So at an early age, I wanted to like rap. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to be a rapper. I was an MC, and that's from the schoolyard raps. You know what I mean? Ciphers, all that
young?
stuff was going on, like 100%. Hip hopped out. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
used to break.
battling, freestyling.
Yeah, yeah. I used to break dance. You know what I'm saying? Pop lock, do all that stuff, man. So yeah, that hip hop bug hit me early, and then like I said, started recording around 12 years old. Probably got on the radio for the first time in high school. Um, and then after I graduated, I got with a crew, of cats. It was called Kingpins Only. One of the cats, he went on to this is when because I've gone through like three chapters as far as like an artist, with three different MC names. You know what I mean? So at that point I was going by Quicksand, and
Shout out to the KOs, KOs.
yeah, Kingpins Only. So that was my first professional recording experience. You know what I'm saying, for on a nationwide release, and that was with all the Bay Area legends. That was like with the back in RBL Posse, Mac Mall, and and I'm just they used to call me like the lyrical gangster or something like that. But you know what I mean? Because I was MC'd out. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
that's been my like my hybrid. I've always been like fully West Coast and fully you know what I'm saying about hip hop. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
so it's been a journey, man. It went from that chapter of Quicksand, and then when me and you got together, I was in the chapter of the gym, which was the God in me. You know what I mean? And that was when I took you know a spiritual turn. You know what I'm saying? Changed a lot of stuff in my life. You know, just came to a whole complete different turn in my life. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
at that point, I started to definitely you know dig, and a lot of stuff was coming out of me and from a spiritual aspect, and tapping into that. And yeah, I released probably like 4 albums, you know what I'm saying, under that. And then the last chapter, the chapter I'm in now, it started, with one of the producers that I used to work with, recording, a lot of my uh, uh, projects under the gym. His name is Centric. And we had a chemistry just through that stuff. And then, I kind of went on a hiatus because, not a hiatus, I'd say like inner growth. All these things are like chapters with me. You know what I'm saying? If you're dealing with Joc Scholar, you know what I mean? It's always been, it's never been a character. It's always been like chapters of my life. And I've been very transparent in everything that I rap about. And I've also been conscious of wanting to put it portrayed in a dope way. You know what I'm saying? Bars,
Yeah.
making it dope. You know what I'm saying? That's what all it's been about. Like to this day, if it's dope, I'm with it. So all this has been like a growth. So by the time we get to Grand Opus, I hit my dude. I was like, I just want to do because the stuff, and I, like I said, it's me. You just chopping it up. Like a lot of the stuff that I learned in doing with the gym, it started to blend in kind of like with the gospel industry and stuff like that. And I was always hip hop, and I've never been I've never been a like how could I say uh, just like religious, you know what I'm saying? To the point, it's always been about knowledge base, even and even when I say knowledge base, like scripture, like I'm a student, you know what I'm saying, of scripture, man, and I really dig deep to where once you start getting too deep, even in the scripture, a lot of religious people don't want to hear that, you know what I'm saying, or
Yeah. Yeah.
church folks or whatever you're saying. So you picture me a hip hop dude that's like it really it started to feel weird because I saw a lot of what was going on in the gospel industry, and I even or quote unquote Christian hip hop and stuff that I started to see. It's like y'all trying to do the same stuff because I'm coming off the streets, and I'm from hustling and just a street mindset. You know what I'm saying? And to see people who are pretty much using God to get money. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they have talents, and what I'm saying, it's all that. But it's once I saw it was ran exactly like the industry that I already had experience in. I was like, look, I made a conscious decision to be like, look, I got to a point to where it started to grieve me, and I'm like, I don't want to have nothing to do with exploiting my core beliefs and my sacred relationship with the Most High, man, and try to exploit it for anything, man. I said, but I'm also 100% hip hop, and I got this gift. So what I did with that, I was like, you know what, I'm just keep it 100% hip hop. I'm gonna stay in my own lane of things because it made me realize how unique of a artist I was. You know what I mean? And how many gaps I was bridging. So that's what gave birth to Grand Opus. I changed my name to Joc Scholar. My government is Joc. You know what I mean? Like the Haitian Revolutionary, JCQUES. So I just flipped it JOC, Joc Scholar, because at that point everything about my life and my approach has just been on a scholarly aspect. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
but like I said, I flipped it in a way, just hey, it's gonna be about bars. Everything that I know and everything, all the knowledge that I got and experience, it's all gonna come out. You know what I'm saying? Without trying to pigeonhole myself in anything. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much been the trail, and that's what I've been on. So we dropped our first. I dropped my first Joc Scholar single probably like 2013 maybe, and After that grand opus, we dropped our full album, Classic Forever, with my partner Centric from Oakland. And yeah, we've dropped like three three albums since then. You know, singles. That right there that you got pulled up. That's a single that I dropped with, you know, my Fresno native Fashion, who used to be signed to Nas. He did the production on that. So man, just been busy, man. You know.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, man. Like, yeah, that's exactly what I was after. Cause again,
Mhm.
like, just kind of giving a little bit of history to
Mhm.
everybody that's listening out there and watching. And again, thanks to everybody that's out there that's watching this on YouTube, watching on Facebook. Again, make sure you drop a comment if you get a chance. Make sure you visit those links too.
No doubt.
But like our history,
Mhm.
I'm gonna go back in the day
Yeah,
because
for sure. It's
the
important.
first time that I heard you
Mhm.
was when it was quicksand.
Yes.
And yeah, and it was because I mean we were all young, you know what I
Mhm.
mean, and I think it was more you had like that street life that you were rapping about a little bit, and
Mhm.
again as was I, because I mean I came out with my first album called MKD,
Mhm.
and you know it was you know sharing our experience of
Mhm.
what it was being a young black male, you know what I'm
Yes.
saying, striving on your own.
Yeah.
So, you know, a lot of negativity came out. You know, I still tried to introduce some positivity into it too,
Mhm.
but and I don't regret that. I really appreciated that. You
Mhm.
know, but I just remember hearing you on the radio for the first time, man, when they had that
Yeah.
Fresno State
Yeah. 90.7. That
radio channel. Yeah, and I was
was
just
stars.
like, oh man, he's representing the town, man, putting it down.
Yeah.
I was loving that.
Yeah.
What happened with like quicksand, and how did you transition to I think the GIM after that?
Yeah. So yeah, that whole era right there, like that was live, man. 90.7 KFSR. We used to live up there, man. I mean, that was back when college radio in the town here in Fresno. That was like dang near like the main station because it was the only station that played hip hop. You know what I'm saying? And but the
Local
only
artist.
thing it was the only thing it was like over the weekend, so like Friday through Sunday. You know what I'm saying? But it was live. You know what I'm saying? Like they had the DJs up there spinning. So we would go up there freestyle, all the up and comings, you know what I'm saying? That's from Fresno, from me, Planet Asia, all of them cats, you know what I'm saying? We would all go up there and freestyle and try to get our stuff played. But at that point, man, I was in definitely like pioneer mode, man. I was getting the stuff on the radio myself, man, doing a lot of getting my stuff in the stores, you know what I'm saying, for pressing my stuff. I learned a lot of like independent hustle, you know what I'm saying? Because at that time, early on, mind you, I learned the music industry from recording in LA all this time and being out in the Bay and stuff like that. So all the early stuff I was doing, like with Quicksand at first, was is all getting recorded up in LA with my cousin. You know what I'm saying? And his girl like works for Sony, and at that time that was a point to where I almost got signed. We were almost got signed, and we were trying to like close something with Def Jam because we built a relationship with one of Russell's partners. That never dropped. I mean, but that's at that point that's always happening. You almost about to get signed. You know what I mean? But yeah. So what I did, I brought a lot of that hustle and the mindset, back home, and yeah, that's the times when we had 90.7 going live, getting our stuff played. That was dope, man. But the transition happened as far as because that was Quicksand. That was me ever since I started rapping. My name was Quicksand. Quicksand, the verbal threat. You know what I mean? So there's like I got like two whole projects that never even got released. While I was doing that. Um, Mixtape stuff like that that never really officially came out just on the business end. But I say like 1999, going into 2000, that's kind of like when a lot of stuff was going on in my personal life. a lot of things were coming full circle for me, and the kind of like the end of the quicksand era came around 2000. Like really, it was really a metaphoric thing, because that was when everybody was talking about, the world's about to end, or everything's about to, remember that
Y2K.
1999? Yeah, Y2K, that's what it was called. Hey, get your waters and all that
Yeah.
stuff. And right before that Y2K, I was going, through a real spiritual transition, man. So um there was a lot that was going on with me, you know what I mean, and a lot of stuff that I was seeing and learning within the industry, you know what I'm saying, to where it's like it it's like the best way to go into the industry is like blind, you know what I'm saying? If you want to, which is the worst way, but once you start learning and seeing certain things, it started making me reflect on the direction I wanted to go. So I think I stopped rapping for a minute, going into 2000, because I didn't know what direction I wanted to go with it. And then within that time, you know uh I came into a relationship with the Most High, a deeper relationship, you know what I'm saying, knowledge of self, and started to really uh, transform myself as an MC, and that's where the God in me came. You know what I'm saying? It became more about my relationship, you know what I'm saying, with God, and at that time, I'm getting in the scriptures, and that's where that aspect started to come in and really take over. I didn't want to rap about anything other than waking people up, and on that level, you know what I'm saying, like a true, like transformation of what I was doing, and and trying to
Yeah.
turn from the path that I was on. You know,
Right. Right.
it was really a
I
reflection
think.
of the path that I was on, and me turning from that path. You know what I'm saying? And when I turned from that path that I was on, it was like, okay, so what do I rap about? You know what I mean? And then slowly but surely, like I said, I've never heard at this point. I probably heard of one gospel artist. His name Kirk Franklin, and who everybody knew. You know what I'm saying? I never heard gospel songs or Christian rap songs or hip, none of that. I've never heard of none of that. I'm just creating stuff out of my own mind. You know what I mean? And that's where I came with, hey, the gym. As I always do that, and it's the most hip hop thing about me as an artist. I flip the name, come up with a dope name, and start like recording, writing, and give birth to a whole new chapter. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
happened. That's what happened with Joc Scholar and Grand Opus. Most hip hop thing you can do. I never, like I said, man, just reinventing. That's hip hop. You know what I mean? Reinventing. I got so many styles. It's like I can have a different freaking name for all my styles, and it'll still be me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. That's real interesting too, man. Because I think you know, as young black men, especially back, coming up in the '80s and '90s,
Yeah.
and then dropping music in the early 2000s. Um, just my own personal story,
Hmm.
as far as like that transition came for me too around the same time.
Hmm.
Probably, I'm assuming under the same circumstances. You know what I'm saying? Because when I
Hmm.
dropped the first NKD album,
Hmm.
it was street. It was for the street. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I had some feel good songs on there, um, and I never rapped about nothing that I didn't ever do. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I always stayed true to that. But
Hmm.
and a lot of people wouldn't believe a lot of some of the things that I did because I made sure that you know I at least maintained and looked straight and narrow. Uh,
No,
but
wild boy.
so, yeah, yeah, we. I started to get um, a little taste of that street life because I was young, broke,
Hmm.
poor, and then I had some of the homies surrounding me, and so everybody was jugging and making music and doing extracurricular activities on the side. I'll say, you know what I'm talking
Hmm. Yeah.
about. And you get introduced into that life, and then that fast money starts talking. Where a lot of people around me, started slanging drugs, so on. You know what I mean? And of
Mm-hmm.
course, there's all the homies that we know.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and so it just kind of gets intertwined with life imitating art and so
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
And my transition actually came. Uh, there's like a long story about it, but I mean, I actually put it in one of my last podcasts. But the
Mm-hmm.
thing that really kind of turned me is when the homie got shot and killed.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
the homie Trot. That was a big deal in my life because at the time I was playing ball. You know what I mean?
RP to Trot. RP Trot. That's my cousin. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. And he would always call me like the next morning after a basketball game, and look at my stats in the paper, and he would
Yeah.
call me up and be like, "Man, you only had 10 points last night,
Yeah.
man. You weak, man."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That
He
was
was
Trot.
always going up against me, man. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Since kindergarten, we was always battling each other, just
Yeah.
making each other stronger. And so, when that whole situation happened, you know, I
That was powerful, man.
we I, yeah, I had seen a lot of death and a lot of destruction, you know, and I
Mm-hmm.
started seeing how it is that, especially us as black men, were being destroyed
Mm-hmm.
by the type of music that we were getting paid for.
Yeah.
And my older cousin, shout out to Warren, man, he passed away too. My big
Rest in peace.
cousin, man, Warren McGow.
Yeah.
He's the one that
Uh,
actually got me on and made my first music with me and so on. That's a whole story in itself. But
that's dope.
when all of that happened and these people started dying, it caused a realization in me to where it was like, wait a minute now, if I'm rapping about this stuff and then everybody else is rapping about this same type of music, and
Mm-hmm.
then it's actually happening in the street, I'm continuing the process by speaking death.
Yes.
And And it was a powerful moment for a 24-year-old, you know what I'm saying, to come to a realization. And, I was going through this whole like metamorphosis at my time in my life.
Yeah.
And it really caused me to just stop. And there was a specific night that this happened, you know what I'm saying, where, you know, it all just came about. And it started to dawn on me that I felt like I was destroying my own community by the things
Mm-hmm.
that I was saying, because
Mm-hmm.
words are either life or death. Which
Yeah.
one are you talking about?
That's the
And
realization. The power of word, man.
yeah, and my cousin put me onto that, and I started reading and doing all these things that really started to increase my mindset. And so I really had to take a stop and think, you know, I don't want to talk about this death stuff anymore
Mm-hmm.
because this is just it keeps creating more death. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? But would the same principle be true if I start rapping about life
Mm-hmm.
and consciousness and information? You know what I'm saying? And my transition went from just being known as MKD is like my street name. You know what I'm saying? Or Mookie D is how everybody that's really close to me knows me.
Mm-hmm.
And I changed that to MKD, which was Mankind Divine,
Mm-hmm.
because
That's
if
dope.
MKD is Mankind Divine, if I start talking about how we are actually divine,
Yeah.
then people actually want to go that way. If you talk to people about how they're just sinners all day, well, then they're going to be sinners all day. You see what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And I just wanted to kind of lay that little foundation out there like that, because that was my own personal testimony of how
No,
even
yeah, that makes
prophetic.
sense. Was this like early 2000s too, or what?
Yeah, early 2000s.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, because I think that, Trot was gone at like, it was '04,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. I remember.
And
I remember. Remember the day I got
it
that
was,
news.
yeah, man, me too. And so I changed my music, I changed my name and all of that. And then all of a sudden I came out with The Lighthouse. That was my first,
Yeah.
really knowledge based album that I came out with. But again, like I said, the only reason why I bring that up is because that was my transition of my story about how I started going in the direction that I'm going, and
Yeah,
I wanted
similar
to know
aspects.
if you had like a similar
Yes.
experience.
Yeah, like similar aspects, even down to the name, like you said, like, and everything what you said was is, like I said, my mindset also, as far as like coming into knowledge, man, you coming into the knowledge of God, you know what I'm saying, and knowledge of self, and you're like, yeah, these words are power, man. So that was definitely when, because that's what was tugging at me while I was, as I was transitioning. um and the more I learned and the more I read and studied and the more it started to make sense. Yeah, the words are power, you know what I'm saying? And it was about, words of life, and it was about realizing, okay, where are we getting even this self-destructive mindset from, you know what I'm saying? And and that's where those things come from, even down to the name. Like you said, mankind divine. The God in me. If I'm saying, hey, everything I'm saying is the God in me. You know what I'm saying? Like it's divine. It's beyond me. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it was about. And it was more than the name. It was an understanding of you know uh, who I am. You know what I'm saying, as a being. So to this day, it's like you know, it's still I'm still the gym. You know what I'm saying? It's still about the God in me because it just it's something that I couldn't just capture all in music form, you know what I'm saying? But that was definitely the power that I tapped into, and it proved true, man. It makes a difference. You know what I mean? It's all about what you tap into.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, that's anything specific that you can get into about how maybe your life turned around, especially for like especially the younger viewers that may be viewing this.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? People don't want to go the direction of the mainstream. That's one thing that 2024 to me has definitely started to kick off about. Is people have now peeled back the layers, man.
Yeah,
The curtain has
yeah.
been pulled back. People are starting to be able to see what's true and make a good conscious decision for themselves about which direction that we need to go.
Well, what I'll say, man, is one, anybody trying to get into music, entertainment, anything, period. um this is real life, and you got to be a student. I now have sons old enough to be into music, record, and be awesome at what they do. But it was never really something, as far as the music industry, that I would ever push them towards, you know what I mean? And notice I put a difference between being an artist and the music industry. An artist is an artist. If you're an artist, you're always going to be an artist. If you want to get paid for your artistry, you have to learn the business of selling your music, you know what I mean? Selling your product. So then, therefore, you become a businessman. And in these days, it's not like before, to where somebody else is gonna, like, the labels, these major labels, are gonna do all the work. No, they're just kind of like waiting for you to do all the work, pay for everything, get it popping, and then they come and pretty much you know uh, get all your rights and lock you into a deal, but you're still doing all the work. So the thing is that what I see is like a disconnect of wanting to know how the industry works with a lot of youngsters coming up, because now we're in a digital age, and it's more about going viral. It's more about all these microwave ways to be an artist and to create art. So it's actually like starting off at failure, trying to get into the game and be an artist in that aspect. One, if you're an artist, you're going to be an artist regardless, and you're going to do whatever you can, and you're going to accept, kind of like what we was talking about off mic before, like anytime these days, if you're talking about something, if you're making like authentic music, it's gonna be kind of like underground, and I'm talking about from hip hop to R&B, soul. Like everybody, the new artists that I even come across that I like these days from hip hop, R&B, soul, whatever. It's because I heard them and they was dope. You know what I'm saying? I maybe heard them on a smaller platform, or it
Yeah.
wasn't because they were programming it, 24 hours on TV or on the radio. It's because now, since I'm a music connoisseur, I look for good music. You know what I'm saying? I look for dope stuff, and it's there. And then I find dope artists in music that shoot I stick with, and they're not the big. They may not be the biggest artists, or never even trying to be the biggest artist. They're gaining a fan base, and they're getting people who like their music. So that's the smart thing. But you got to also understand that that's not how the music industry thinks or works. It's not about finding anything authentic anymore. It's like what fits the mold of what we're doing. We're not trying to invent the wheel here. You know what I'm saying? This is America. This is entertainment. And at the end of the day, these people at the top who run the entertainment industry, because these major record labels are subsidiaries of bigger parent labels, and there's really only like two or three really uh, businesses running all of this stuff. But these people know that from the get-go, I don't care if it's from the inception of Hollywood, sex, money, drugs, rock and roll sales. That's the American way. You know what I'm saying? That's the American music. So what you see like these days, when you talk about rap and you see, the drugged out, what I'm saying, culture and this and that, it's it's going in that vein of that sex, drugs, and rock and roll. You know what I'm saying? And these people at the labels, they think it's cool. You know what I'm saying? And of course, as black people, we're gonna make everything look cool. So we end up making a lot of the wrong things look cool. You know what I'm saying? Because it's, hey, you're giving me a check, and I'm trying to get out of my situation. But it's those same artists that once they get past that little initial, hey, I got some money, they look up like, oh, I'm in a jacked up contract. Oh, I'm getting screwed. Oh, I'm just a little puppet here. Oh, you played me. Ah, you know what I'm saying? And then they go on a rant about, the label, got one off the label. And it's really just standard music business. You know what I'm saying? It don't, it's, and that's one thing that I've always studied as, very young age, is studying the music industry, studying these people who label owners, how they run their business, how they live their life. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody is still a regular person who, at their core, yeah, they want to be successful and they want to do what they love, but they want to have a life, and a lot of what this madness brings, because it's the stress aspect, this, that, whatever, and then that's where the darkness comes in. You know what I'm saying? And you start, you know, like I said, I mean, you see many people who are rich and famous artists that end up taking their own lives because they're miserable. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
while everybody else is looking at them trying to be them, you know what I'm saying? Trying to get to that point. And a lot of people who got to that point since they were, misled in their ambition, end up, realizing that this, I got all this stuff, but now life ain't even worth living, which is a sad point it gets to. So, my message to anybody coming up, like as far as like, music, trying to get into the music industry, trying to sell music, like I said, educate yourself on the way you want to go about your music career. If that's what you want to do, if you want to do it full time and you really just don't care about what it takes, then you won't be the first who've said that and who have done that. You know what I'm saying? And to really hit certain heights these days, you really got to throw it all out the window. That is the metaphor of selling your soul. It's just like your core motives or your core morals don't even matter anymore. You just want to get on, and there's a lane for you. You know what I'm saying? There's, it's a lot of what's coming out in in the music industry in Hollywood now, all the wild crazy stuff. You know what I'm saying, that these moguls and artists, and it's a wild game. And I've been fortunate to see from the top of, from just my time in the music industry, from what goes on from the top and to what goes down in the bottom, and be able to do the knowledge and find a place in the balance for myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Got you. Another question. A lot of people have kind of written into to my show and kind of asked me like some of the people that I know and some of the people that I might have collaborated with. Who are some of the like big names of people that you may have worked with or like that you may have signed with or like how far did you go? Because I'm telling you folks again, if you haven't heard any of Joc Scholar's music, man, you that's the new stuff you need to get on.
Yeah,
Talk about
definitely,
putting
man.
stuff in your head.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, definitely tap into just, anything Jock Scholar Grand Opus. It's really good music, you know, uh lyricism, everything you can put in the pot, you know what I'm saying, if you're a connoisseur of good music and hip hop. But as far as like names and shows and who man, it's been a lot of my journey. I'll say one of the since we're just coming out of the hip hop 50 anniversary, one of the most memorable tours I went on was with Curtis Blow throughout the East Coast, and because one, he ended up becoming like a big brother to me around this month, but
Mhm.
also because we did shows in all the boroughs of New York, and he's like being a tour guide of the inception of hip hop. Because for those that don't know, Curtis Blow is like the first major recording artist. He was there at the inception of Def Jam Management with Russell Simmons. They're all boys. That Run from Run DMC was his little bro, little DJ that he's bringing on tour. So it was a stories, going through the boroughs and him just giving me the hip hop history. So a lot of the legends that I've met, as far as Curtis Blow, uh, um, Cool Herc, chilling with Cool Herc and
Sure.
actually doing, yeah, the grandfather of hip hop, man, being with him out in Miami and just chopping it up and we were billed on the same show. I think I was even hosting that show too. Sitting down and having him tell me, yo, you're next, you know what I'm saying stuff like that.
Yeah.
Legends like him, that same little time I met Grand Wizard Theodore, who invented the scratch, you know what I mean? So like as far as like the mainstream cats, I've met a few here and there, bumped into uh but the
Now,
legends,
to me,
those are,
that's enough, man.
yeah,
Because
that's what I'm saying.
especially for the viewers that's listening, like that's
Yeah,
history right there. That's the history of hip hop. The names
yeah,
that he's
yeah,
mentioning right now,
yeah,
it,
yeah. I
those
brought
are the artists that you need to know.
exactly everybody from Curtis Blow to the first hip hop major artist, Curtis Blow, the inventor of hip hop. I mean, God, one of the Godfathers. You know what I'm saying? Titled as the Godfather of hip hop. Cool Herc, Grand Wizard Theodore. He invented that whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Good dude. So
Yeah.
those legends stick out to me because it came with conversation. Like me and Grand Wizard, we were sharing a room. We got booked out there together, so it was just like sat eat dinner, just getting stories like that. Stuff like that was dope. But like recent features that we've had on our project, I think Buckshot from Boot Camp Click. That was dope to have him on our song on the High Power album. Um, uh, it's just like I said, I can probably just end with the legends. You know what I'm saying? There's been so many people that I've met that I respect in the music industry, but those are the ones that stand out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All good. That's exactly how I feel.
Hmm.
Some of these no name rappers, you know what I'm saying, nowadays, they'll be around for maybe 6 months to a
Yeah,
year, seem like,
yeah,
just be in, dropping one song and then be gone.
yeah.
But if that's how
And plus,
that's how you know that you're getting quality music, folks, is when you look at the artists that are still around and relevant today
mm,
from back in the '80s and even the '70s. You know what I'm saying? Talking about Curtis Blow and
hmm,
Cool Herc. And KRS-One was always somebody who I kind of looked up
he's
to
that dude.
doing the
Oh,
music.
KRS is that dude. Yeah, I've
Yeah,
met KRS too. KRS, you know what I mean? didn't have so much of
Oh,
a big time to chill with them. But yeah, this just met a lot of legends. You know what I'm saying? And just being in the
yeah,
mix, and you're seeing a bunch of famous artists and stuff like that. But I can't really count the people that I just met. You know what I'm saying? I've never been like starstruck, and then I look at them like peers, and I respect them. You know what I'm saying? But the ones that stick out to where I've got a chance to actually build with for a second, that's what's up.
got you, got you. Yeah, and kind of wrap it up, man. Do
Mhm.
you have any new projects that you're working on next, or anything coming in the future, or what you got
Man,
planned?
as far as like music right now, we just didn't drop anything last year. The last project was dropped in 2022. So this year, I'm always gonna be down to record and release music. I'm also transitioning into my other hats that I've always wore. Like that video that you're playing right there, that was a pinnacle right there. Speaking of these days, that's my son who was an artist, and that was the first time that we actually did a track. He goes by the name Joc Malik, and he's an outstanding artist. And it took a while for it even get to the point to where you want to share a screen with your son. You know what I'm saying? But it came out dope because I didn't want to cramp his style. I didn't want vice versa. Make me look old. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying?
Uh,
Rapping daddy around this mug, but but it
yeah,
that's
yeah,
it falls into my canon because that's what I've always been about. You know what I'm saying? But as far as the future, I've always directed, uh, did videography for a lot of my stuff. Graphic art, all these things, and in the digital space now, I've also been building on ideas for, more media type art, and moving more into that. But that's what's in the more immediate future, and the music that I do. Uh, Whenever I release it, it would always be a soundtrack to whatever was going on in my life and stuff like that. So, not presently working on a project right now, but who's to say? When I get inspired and it's time to do something, then I drop it. You know what I mean? But definitely moving more into the media aspects of what I've been doing throughout this whole time. Also, you know what I mean?
got you, got you. And who, like, if people wanted to work with you or collaborate with you at all, like, are you still doing that? Are you doing any producing or anything? Or how can people contact you or get in contact with
Yeah, and anybody serious about futures or anything, you can get at me at getwitgrandopus at gmail.com. That's GETWIT uh, grand opus at gmail.com. That's for if you and like I said, serious only because like I said, people have been in the game for a while, and that know the business and are about their business. If it ain't about business, then you don't got time to waste. So, but whoever is really trying to do something, wants a feature, you can definitely get at me there. And other than that, you can just tap into my social medias, follow me, and support. If of all things, if streaming is what you do, and go in and put my stuff on your playlist if you want to. My big thing is like when I dropped this last project I did, Street Spiritual Science. For a while, I only had it on iTunes and Amazon to buy because I that's my big thing now. Also, like my thing is I from seeing and studying and seeing where the industry is moving and how it moves. I always got this crazy foresight to where I already start making changes about what I'm saying, what I'm doing before it actually hits. So even with the streaming, it's like it never made sense to me. You know what I'm saying? It makes sense as a thing, but what stopped making sense is when you as an independent artist, people don't know that you go through these digital distributors and they end up on your Apple Music or your Spotify. But when they stop promoting the very last probably store where you can buy music, which is iTunes. You know, they got Apple Music and they got iTunes. But when you buy somebody's music on iTunes, one, you own it, and two, that artist is getting, like 98% of the sale. You know what I'm saying? 97% of the sale. Right there off top. You know, when you stream, everybody is already should know that you're getting eighths of a penny per stream to where, if you're an independent artist and you streaming maybe, you know, 10,000, 100,000 a song, you really gonna get maybe like a $50 check or something like that. It's a crazy aspect. So, so spots like Bandcamp, iTunes, place where you can sell your music. If you want to support artists, buy their music. If you but if your thing is streaming and all you know is Spotify, hey, stream me too. You know what I'm saying? But if you want to support, definitely go to iTunes, tap in Joc Scholar Grand Opus, and buy the projects. You know what I mean? That's how you can
Absolutely.
support. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. That's the way that I remember when I first started learning the game. And had to
Mhm.
make that transition too, because back in the day, it really used to be about going to the studio and pressing up a CD. You know what I'm saying? Getting your master,
Getting your
then
master.
trying to have the artwork pressed up so you can get a jewel case. You know what I'm saying? And then have those mass produced, and then try to slang them out the back seat of your car or the trunk.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? That's how we used to do it back then,
Yeah.
and I'll never forget this
Hand over
too.
fist. Get the money over fist.
Yeah, before all the technology came into place, I'll never forget this. And this wasn't too long ago. This was maybe 10 years ago or something like that. Where Rod Rod
Hmm.
actually hit me up because I told him, hey man, I'm pressing up some new CDs for my new album that's coming out. He actually hit me with, hey man, he was like, I think me and you are some of the only ones that still kind of have CDs and kind of still, mess with CDs. And I was like, what are you talking about? Because I didn't know
Hmm.
nothing about streaming. I didn't
Hmm.
know nothing about, iTunes or anything like that.
Hmm.
I heard my younger cousins talking about it, but I
Yeah.
probably wasn't with all of that. And you know, it's a whole story behind that. But again,
Mhm.
Rob Morris, he's the singer on Spread Love. Again,
Shout out
shout
to
out
Rod.
to God. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. We still keep it tight. Uh, but he put that in my head. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? As far as for let me not do it the old school way. Let me try to get into what the new
Mhm.
way is. And I mean, granted, now it's you work smarter, not harder. Because then once I got my stuff uploaded to iTunes, Spotify, and all the platforms and things like that, it's kind of cool to just see,
And
my
cheaper.
my check, yeah, and cheaper. You know what I mean? And everything's done pretty much immediately. And to see, some of those royalty checks that come in, however often that yours come in,
Yeah.
it just lets you know that you're doing something. Me, it doesn't pay my bills, you know what I'm saying? But it is good to see, you can track your demographics and things like that, and just how a message really resonates and literally spreads across the world, man. And that's just one of the main things that I'm kind of proud of. And that's one
Mm-hmm.
of the main reasons why I wanted to bring you on is because I want our type of music, especially your type of music, to go worldwide. I want everybody to start listening to it because not only is he saying something and knowledge based, but the beats are dope too. You know what I'm saying? You're looking for some slamming beats. You're looking for something to just vibe out to. I'm telling you, this is what it is. Get with jocscholar.com. Again, you can check out my platform at prophetic.com. That's PROPHET as in Tango, C as in Charlie.net. Again, 2024, folks, is going to be about supporting what you believe in and not going along with everything that they want you to believe in.
Yes.
You need to tune into
Control your
real cat.
control your algorithm, man.
Control your algorithm. So the last point that I want to do, because I don't want to take up too much of your time, man. And again, I appreciate you being on the show,
Mhm. Let me say this
stuff
though.
like that.
Let me say
Yeah,
this as far as like on the CD thing. It's funny because these days now it's come back full circle with the pressing of the CDs and the vinyls and stuff as merch. So now the CDs, those are merch. Those are like uh you know uh uh gifts. You know what I'm saying? Like at the shows and stuff like that. Keepsakes is what I'm trying
you
to say.
own it. You own it.
Yeah. So now it's just funny seeing that coming full circle to where it's both now. You know what I'm saying? People, they get the digital, but now they want, if you once you have a physical like CD or a vinyl, that means something to the real people who are real music connoisseurs. So it kind of like came full circle to where they both are living in the same little atmosphere now. You know what I'm saying? Because when you go do a show, because I've pressed up CDs of my recent past releases, and that's what you get off as merch at the shows and stuff like that. It's just not the core, you know, function of
Revenue.
selling, yeah, revenue and function of you selling the music. But yeah, I just wanted to add that in there.
Yeah, man. I'm glad that you did. Like I said, I don't want to take up too much of your time, man. I'm
Yes,
gonna
sir.
have you back on the show. Hopefully, you can make some time.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And we can go even a little bit further into situations. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Um, but other than that, I want to thank you again for joining me.
yep.
Folks, again, make sure you check out jocscholar.com and his grand opus, right? Let me have you give them the website once again so I don't mess it up. Where can they go again to get this good news?
Like I said, jocscholar.com. That'll take you into, like I said, to where the music is streaming. Um, when I say Grand Opus, so it's not confusing, Grand Opus is Joc Scholar and Centric, the producer, as a group. Just on some Gangstar stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like with Guru and DJ Premier. That's where that came from. So as I'm saying, Grand Opus is still me doing all the rapping, and but it's just exclusively me and him. Him on the production, me and the MCing. So if you see Grand Opus, that's still Joc Scholar. I dropped singles and an EP under just Joc Scholar. So either one of those, but you go to jocscholar.com, that'll tap you into all of that, and you'll find what you're looking for. Need to you know whatever you need to like follow or support, definitely.
Absolutely, man. Cool deal. Well, like I said, man, great having you on the show. We're gonna definitely have you back.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Everybody out there who was watching and listening, make sure you check us out. 2024, we've got a bunch more video concepts that are actually coming out that you're gonna definitely want to pay attention to. So make sure you hit up the website prophetic.net. That's PROPHET, as in Tango, C as in Charlie.net. Other than that, man, much love to you, man. We'll see you soon.
All right, man.
All
Peace.
right, then, folks. All right.